My beloved brothers and sisters, hardships in life are not accidents, nor are they random moments of suffering that suddenly appear without meaning. Every difficulty that reaches you has already passed through the mercy of Allah. Nothing touches your heart unless Allah knows it will purify you, elevate you, or bring you closer to Him. Many people misunderstand hardship and think it is a form of punishment. But if you truly look with the eyes of faith, you will realize something beautiful. Hardships are one of the greatest signs that Allah still loves you enough to refine you, cleanse your heart, and prepare you for something greater. There are times when life becomes heavy, when the tears come before sleep, when nothing makes sense, and when your plans fall apart one after another. In those moments you might feel abandoned or forgotten, but Allah says He is closer to you than your own jugular vein. How can the one who is closer to you than your breath ever forget you? Hardship is not distance. Hardship is attention. Hardship is Allah turning toward you, shaping your soul, strengthening your patience, and reminding you that this world is not your home. If life were always easy, you would never discover the power of dua. You would never taste the sweetness of relying on Allah alone. You would never grow into the person He wants you to become. Comfort breeds forgetfulness. Hardship brings awakening. When a believer experiences pain with faith, that pain washes away sins they didn't even know they carried. Hardship cleans the heart like fire cleans gold. It burns away the impurities and leaves you shining with humility, sincerity, and resilience. Ask yourself, why do the most beloved people to Allah, His prophets, peace be upon them all, go through the hardest trials? Because trials elevate. They cleanse. They raise a person to a rank they could never reach through worship alone. Hardship is not a sign of Allah pushing you away. It is a sign that Allah wants to lift you higher. He wants to forgive you. He wants to purify you before the day you stand before Him. What greater mercy could there be? Sometimes the hardship you face is the very thing that saves you. You may not understand it now, but one day Allah will show you why you needed that pain. He will show you the harm He protected you from, the people He removed for your safety, the plans He broke because they would have broken you. Every difficulty you endure is part of a divine wisdom that is unfolding in silence, even when you cannot see it. There are hardships that pull you away from people so you can return to Allah. There are hardships that make you cry so your heart can soften. There are hardships that make you question yourself so you can recognize your need for Allah. A believer who walks through pain with patience becomes stronger than they ever imagined. Not because of their own power, but because Allah guides them, supports them, and lifts them at every step. Think of how much love Allah must have for you to test you in ways that purify you instead of punish you. If He wanted to punish you, He could do so in many other ways. But He chooses to purify you in this world so that on the day of judgment, you can stand with a clean heart and a light book of deeds. Every tear you shed, every breath you take in difficulty, every quiet moment of pain, Allah counts them all and rewards you in ways that will make you forget every hardship when you see your place in Jannah. Sometimes you wonder why your trial is so heavy, but Allah gives the toughest battles to the souls He wants to strengthen. He knows what you can handle even when you don't. He knows what will break you and what will build you. And He never burdens a soul beyond what it can bear. If Allah placed this hardship on your path, it is because He knows you can rise through it, not alone but with Him. Pain is temporary. Its reward is eternal. The hardship you are facing right now is not a punishment. It is a doorway. A doorway to forgiveness, to growth, to strength, and to a closer relationship with your Creator. You may not understand the wisdom behind it today, but one day you will look back and realize that the hardship that once hurt you became the reason Allah raised you. Hold on to this truth. Your hardship is a sign of His love, not His anger. The test you are carrying is shaping you into the person Allah always knew you could become. Faith is easy to claim when everything in life is smooth. When your plans work, when the people you trust stand beside you, when your heart feels light and your days feel simple, Iman feels natural. But true faith, the kind that shines in the sight of Allah, appears when life becomes difficult, when your heart is tested, when your patience is stretched thin, when confusion fills your mind and you're trying to hold yourself together. That is when your iman is exposed. Hardship doesn't create faith, it reveals it. It shows you who you truly are and how deeply you truly trust Allah. When life becomes heavy, you will find yourself standing at a crossroads. One path takes you closer to Allah, and the other pulls you away from Him. The difference between the two is not the size of the hardship, but the strength of your faith in the one who controls every hardship. A believer with strong faith won't be crushed by difficulty. They may cry, they may feel overwhelmed, but their heart never lets go of Allah. Their patience becomes worship. Their tears become dua. Their silence becomes surrender. Their reliance becomes strength. There are moments when your heart wants to scream, "Why is this happening?" That is the exact moment you must remind yourself that Allah is the one who sees the full picture. You see only a chapter, He sees the entire book. You see the struggle, He sees the reward. You see the closed door, He sees the danger behind it. When faith is present, every hardship becomes easier because you no longer carry it alone. You place it in the hands of the one who carries the entire universe effortlessly. True faith shows itself in the darkest moments. When the world feels silent and your dua feels unanswered, faith whispers, Allah hears you. When people walk away and you feel lonely, faith reminds you Allah is still with you. When things fall apart and nothing makes sense, faith tells your heart, this is happening for a reason, even if you don't see it yet. Faith is not the absence of fear or sadness. Faith is choosing Allah despite the fear. Faith is choosing patience despite the pain. Faith is choosing trust even when your eyes see only difficulty. Sometimes Allah allows life to break your heart so your heart can finally turn fully toward Him. Many people remember Allah in calm moments, but they hold on to Him tightly only when hardship comes. And that tight grip, that desperate surrender, that longing in your dua, that is what Allah loves. The strength of your faith is not measured by how loudly you say you trust Him. It is measured by how firmly you stand when everything around you shakes. You may not realize it now, but your hardship is training your heart. Every trial teaches you resilience. Every challenge deepens your reliance. Every disappointment breaks your dependence on people and increases your dependence on Allah. It is in those silent nights of crying that your heart learns the language of sincerity. It is in those moments when no one understands you that your connection with Allah becomes the strongest. Faith is built in those quiet, painful moments that nobody else sees. And when your faith grows in hardship, something beautiful happens. Your heart begins to calm even before the problem is solved. Not because the situation changed, but because you changed. Your perspective shifts from, why is this happening to me, to Allah is guiding me. You begin to trust the process, trust the timing, trust the wisdom, and trust the one who controls all outcomes. This is the power of faith. It gives you peace while the storm is still raging. When you practice patience in hardship, Allah writes reward for you that you cannot even imagine. Your hardship becomes a means of forgiveness, a means of elevation, a means of earning a place in Jannah that your deeds alone could never have earned. Some people enter paradise because of their patience in the trials they endured. The strength of your faith today may be the reason you enter eternal happiness tomorrow. So whenever life becomes difficult, remind your heart, this is not punishment, this is an opportunity. This is your chance to show Allah how much you trust Him. This is your chance to turn your pain into worship. This is your moment to prove that your faith is not fragile, but strong, steady, and anchored in Allah. Hardship doesn't last forever, but the faith you build through hardship stays with you for a lifetime and earns you reward for eternity. Every struggle you go through in life carries a purpose that you may not see today. Nothing in your journey is meaningless, nothing is wasted, and nothing happens outside the wisdom of Allah. Many times you look at your hardship and wonder why the path is so hard, why the people you trusted changed, why your heart feels heavy, or why life seems to move against your plans. But one of the most powerful truths you must hold on to is this: every struggle has been placed in your life for a divine reason. Allah never allows a believer to suffer without turning that suffering into something beautiful, something that strengthens you, elevates you, protects you, or brings you closer to Him. When you face a trial, you often only see the surface, the difficulty, the fear, the loss, the disappointment, but Allah sees what the struggle will create within you. He sees the patience you will learn, the wisdom you will gain, the sins that will be erased, and the strength you will develop. He sees the transformation before you even feel it. Allah does not let hardship touch a believer unless He knows it will benefit them in ways they cannot yet understand. Your struggle may break you today, but that same struggle will build you tomorrow. There are moments when life feels like it's falling apart, but in reality, Allah is rearranging everything perfectly for your future. You may lose something you wanted, but Allah is saving you for something better. You may be forced out of a place you were comfortable in, but Allah is moving you toward a place where you will grow. You may feel lonely in your pain, but Allah is isolating you so you can learn to depend on Him alone. Nothing you go through is pointless. Every struggle is a chapter in the story Allah is writing for you. Sometimes the purpose behind a struggle is protection. Allah takes certain people out of your life because their presence would have harmed your heart, your faith, or your future. He closes doors because behind them are things that would have broken you. And sometimes He breaks your heart because without that pain, you would never look for Him. What you see as loss is often the very thing that saves you. What you see as failure is often the beginning of your greatest blessing. What you see as delay is preparation. Allah knows what your heart does not. Other times, the purpose of your struggle is purification. A believer's sins are washed away through hardship in a way that brings them closer to Allah, softens the heart, and increases humility. A single trial can erase mistakes you made knowingly or unknowingly. A few days of patience can lift your rank higher than years of worship done in comfort. Allah is so merciful that He uses your worldly struggles to protect you from hardship in the hereafter. Every struggle you endure with patience becomes a shield for you on the day of judgment. Struggles also teach you reliance. When things fall apart and you feel helpless, you learn the true meaning of tawakkul, trusting Allah when you have no control. Your heart learns to say, I don't know how this will end, but I know Allah will never abandon me. This reliance becomes the foundation of your peace. It becomes the anchor that keeps you steady even when life is uncertain. And it becomes the strength that makes you rise again after every fall. And perhaps the most beautiful purpose of struggle is that it brings you closer to Allah. In moments of ease, many hearts forget. But in moments of hardship, your heart softens, your dua becomes sincere, and your connection with Allah strengthens. Tears shed in sujood are never wasted. Silent prayers whispered in pain are never ignored. Allah hears every voice, sees every tear, and answers in ways that you will understand at the right time. You may not see the wisdom today, but one day you will look back at your struggle and understand why it happened exactly the way it did. You will realize that if things had gone your way, you wouldn't have reached where Allah wanted to take you. You will realize that your delays protected you, your disappointments redirected you, and your heartbreaks taught you what your heart truly needs, Allah. Every struggle you endure is an investment in your soul. It shapes you, cleans you, matures you, and prepares you for the blessings that are written for you. Nothing you're going through right now is without purpose. Allah is crafting you through every moment. And when He finally brings relief, you will understand that the struggle was worth it, because it led you exactly where you were meant to be.